I've seen those faces, I've heard all the lies, but you ain't gazing on someone in denial. 'Cause you want dollar bills right now, but you gotta work real hard. I know you want it to be easy, so let your guard down. And I say,
hi ladies, as you can see, we are about to do some major decluttering and organizing in our playroom slash mudroom. So funny thing is, I do that about twice a year. I like to do some major decluttering right before Christmas, and I like to do it sometime during summertime. And at the beginning of the summer, I kind of started doing a little bit. I can't even remember, there was some area I was organizing, then I did a major declutter of like school supplies, and I didn't think there was really much to declutter in this room beyond that. So I was just basically gonna be calling that it. You know, once I was done with the supplies, I thought, you know what, we're in a good shape. And a couple of days ago, my daughter actually came to me and she said, you know, Mom, when are we gonna do the decluttering of the playroom? Because, you know, I remember you keep saying we do it twice a year, and we have not done it this summer. So I was like, you know what? If you want to go through all the toys, let's do it. I honestly did not think this was gonna be anything major. I thought we're just gonna go through some of the drawers really quickly and, you know, get rid of a few things. But I was in for a big shocker here, because we got rid of a lot of things, like a ton of things. And, you know, I have been doing that regular decluttering for a few years now, so I honestly did not think we were gonna get rid of a lot of stuff, but we did. It's amazing to kind of see how many things you have when they are nicely put away in drawers and you don't see them. So we didn't have too much of the clutter that was kind of, you know, right there, you know, on top of different shelves. Like, it was nicely put away, so it was not like, you know, in your face clutter that you knew you had to do something about. But even though after, you know, doing regular declutters, I'm very thankful and grateful to my daughter that she did convince me to, not even convince me, she just asked me to kind of do that, because we are extremely happy with the results. As we were doing that, I told her, you know what, one of the things as we are decluttering the place, let's try to also find a different way of, you know, where your Barbies are at. Because one of the big things I have been trying to address in this room for a long time is that, you know, as she's playing with her Barbie dollhouse and all the Barbies and the millions of accessories, it ends up in the middle of the room, and we use the door to go outside quite often, and we always have to go through those toys. So I know she plays with them. We were trying to come up with different things on how to help her organize it, so when she's playing, it's easy to put away. We had bins, we had some storage area under the TV. It all improved it a little bit, but never to a point where it actually worked. So as we are going through this decluttering process, you're gonna see we are rearranging some stuff in the room to make it more functional and hopefully help her organize that a little bit more. So you're definitely gonna see that process later down in the video. And if you are new here, this is the first video you see from me. My name is Marta. I am a full-time working mom, and on my channel I do a lot of videos about decluttering, organizing, just really home management from a perspective of a working mom. So if that is something that you enjoy watching, make sure that you subscribe down below. And for everybody who's watching, let me know how often you declutter things like your playroom. Do you tend to do it in the summer before school starts? Is it something you do at the beginning of the calendar year? Let me know, I'm really curious.
You were my best friend, didn't care about the rules, good on the weekends. I'll be in fools, drifting to deep space. So brave and so stupid, just like the movies. I was gonna stay in the fight with
So this is the approach we are taking with all the Barbie accessories. I had those little organizers that I actually used in my dresser in my bedroom. I'm trying to do something different in there, so I just grabbed them, and we kind of organized it in different categories. So we put all the toys. She kind of drove the decisions of how to organize it, which items go where, but they were kind of like, pets or clothes or I can't remember, kitchen stuff. And we put that in one of that drawers in there, and that is where we're gonna move the playhouse. The idea was that when she's playing, it's easier to, she can see all of those little things without digging through a bigger box, because that was kind of our first time when we tried to solve it. We had like two larger containers for it, but she really had to, Barbie accessories are very tiny, so she had to dig through all the boxes to find things, or she would just dump it on the ground so she could see it. So we're hoping that this solution is gonna have a bigger impact. She did get rid of a lot of things, so that was another win. As we were doing that, a lot of things that she no longer played with, or she just had a ton of Barbies that there's no way she played with all of them. And this time around, she actually got rid of quite a bit. And I said this time around because we have been doing this process, like I said, for a while, and she never really got rid of many things from Barbies. And I try not to push, even though I know she's not playing with it. I really try to teach her of, hey, if you're not really playing with it, can we get rid of it? So, sometimes if I know there is something that she really, really doesn't play, I'll try to state my case, but ultimately she makes those decisions. So I was happy that she finally, without any prompting this time, got rid of probably 1/3 of her Barbies. So that also helped with organizing. So I always say first declutter, then organize. So that's why you saw a lot of things we first, went through. That took a long time, by the way, so I didn't show everything. And then whatever was left over, then it was easier to kind of organize into those different bins. So always first declutter, then organize, because otherwise you're gonna fall into the trap I did for many years, where I was basically organizing my clutter instead of actually throwing things away. So a lot of things went to donation. You're gonna see at the end of the video how many bags we have of stuff to donate, and some of it was obviously trash because it was either broken or just very dirty and not something I would feel comfortable donating. So this is the area after the Barbie house. That's where we moved the keyboard. The other thing that kind of helped with deciding where to put what was the fact that I wanted to make more room in the middle of the room, like one space in the middle of the room, to put out her tumbling mat so she has something to practice on. So ultimately, the whole idea every time I kind of declutter and reorganize is how to make my house more functional. And it's kind of one of those things that it's not once and done. I mean, their interests are changing, the activities that are involved are changing, our lifestyle is going to change from time to time. So it's a constant little adjustments that we make to make our house work for us. And as you can see, this is kind of the portion of the playroom that is our mudroom. So that's when we have all the jackets and shoes. I did not get to shoes this time around. I just did I think I opened one of that cabinets and looked through those shoes, but that's gonna be the next video. Otherwise this video would be extremely long. But I wanted to go through everything that we have in there, specifically like the jackets, make sure that they still fit throughout this process, which I did not show over here when my kids were trying on clothes. We realized my son basically outgrew absolutely everything he had. So it was a good timing also to do that. So then when, those clothes starts appearing in stores, I know that I need to get something for him. My daughter, on the other hand, has too many things because she has a lot of hand-me-downs. And she's kind of at the size where, things from last year are still fitting, and things that are, technically for her age are also fitting. Might be a little tiny too big. So that's why she has still a lot of things. We're still trying to downsize a little bit, but it is what it is. I don't know if you guys have the same problem. We live in Chicago suburbs, so the weather is cold, if I may say so, for majority of the year. So we do use, thicker jackets and thinner jackets and hoodies and sweaters and all kinds of things quite often. So that's why we have so many of them. I really could not justify just having a specific number to it because you do use it a lot throughout the year. So let me know if jackets and shoes are also a problem in your house, or maybe it's just my problem.
Funny how the story goes, little hope but bigger dreams. They try to bring a sucker down, singing louder than the crowd. Listen the rhythm, I'm feeling brand new. Keep pushing forward, it's gonna save you. Never look down, love, not when we shine so bright. The sun is getting warmer when we soar away among the clouds. The sky is just a border when we're floating up like helium.
And this is kind of the state of the room when we were, I think this was after day 1, I want to say, maybe day 2. I know it took us, I think, 3 or 4 days to actually get everything done. It was, again, much longer than I anticipated. We started on a random Thursday evening because we didn't have any activities for the kids at summertime, so there was no school, obviously, and that's when my daughter approached me about this. So this is when we kind of started doing that, and I was kind of going from one end of the room to another. So if you do see me kind of, you were just in this corner in the mudroom yesterday, and then you went to the cabinet, and then you're back at it again. That's really was how it went. I don't know why. Sometimes I try to be intentional about, one corner and another, but for some reason, in a lot of cases, I kind of go around the room from one side to another. I don't know if I just need variety as I'm decluttering. I don't know what it is, but I was literally all over the place. So I know that day I wanted to finish up that mudroom corner. As you can see, lots of garbage from the previous day that I needed to get rid of. And honestly, this time around, I went through everything in that playroom / mudroom. You're gonna see me reaching out for the things on a fridge, decluttering those areas, like literally everything. That's probably why it took so long, because I was trying to really not have to repeat this process in a couple of weeks. As I mentioned before, shoes are the only thing I didn't get to. So in that cabinet, I sorted through them. But another problem we have in this room is that we, again, because we have so many shoes, because we have all kinds of weather here, and we like shoes, that's another thing. We're not minimal when it comes to shoes, that's for sure. But the storage is just not efficient, and I am tired of seeing a lot of shoes just by by the door. You see them in probably a lot of videos that I do. So I did buy some extra storage for the shoes, so you're gonna see that in my next video as well. Again, trying to make the house more functional and eliminating that clutter that, you know, visually you see every single day. Because for me, you know, clutter just creates, you know, physical clutter creates my mental clutter, and I'm just not functioning as well in those situations. So I did go through everything in that room. Just editing this video is making me tired, just seeing how many things we did. But also seeing how, you know, again, after all the decluttering I did, how, you know, if I would just kind of stop after I did one major declutter, it would accumulate back really fast to where I was. Not in all the rooms. I feel like some rooms are much better than the others. For obvious reasons, I think, you know, playroom and mudroom is gonna get that way because, again, kids are growing, so they're gonna have different sizes of jackets that we have to look through every season. And same thing with toys and games. Like, you know, it's kind of, you know, part of life. When you have kids, you get those things, and they will clutter the room if you don't pay attention. So I think it gets easier when the kids are older because there is not as many toys per se. I think right now we have mostly games. My daughter is 8, so she still has a bit of toys. My son is 12, so for him it's really just some games and probably some paperwork with like books and different activities that they do with paper. We also had a lot of things from Kiwiko that he liked to do a lot of like the projects from there. So you see that it's just kind of different types, and I think as they get older, just things that we see as clutter are the type of them is gonna change down the line. So if you have teenagers, let me know like what that decluttering process looks like for you. Is it something that's just simply contained at that point to the room? Is it just games? Just let me know what to look forward in. That's not too long of a future. My son will be a teenager next year.
You got a smile that makes the sun rise. You make it shine, but I can see that you don't realize, and that's what made me fall in love. 'Cause you got style, the way your body makes my heart beat sound. It's amazing all the time. You are the only thing I need in life. Oh, I want you. Can't you see? I want you. I believe, 'cause I want you here with me. I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go crazy for love. I look at you, I know it's all.
And as I was editing this video, something that made me kind of laugh and realize how so mom this is what I just did when you kind of start decluttering. And like I said, you know, I wanted to rearrange the room to make it more spacious in the middle. So I moved the table the other way to make it more spacious. But then I realized that they're not gonna have enough space because that cabinet is too far away from the wall. So that made me take the stuff that was between the wall and the cabinet and declutter that and move the cabinet, and then I clean the cabinet and then rearrange this. Like it's just it just went a whole different direction than I planned on doing. I didn't think I needed to declutter anything farther in that particular area, but here it is. And I feel like in life it's like a constant thing. I know it, I do it all the time. You know, I'm cooking something, I go to put something away, and when I put it away, I notice that something else is out of space. Will take that. I'm gonna put it in a, you know, let's say on a kitchen island, and then I realize there is something that maybe there is the plant that needs to be watered, and it's just kind of this constant thing. Like it's not that I concentrate on a task at hand sometimes. It's just kind of one leads to another. So this one was probably at least in the same category, but it definitely made me think like I didn't, you know, going into this project, I didn't think of moving this cabinet or that I need to get rid of anything in between the wall and a cabinet. And here I am, I did. So it ended up with more things that we decluttered. It just was definitely not planned for. This whole project, again, was completely not what I expected going into that. I thought we would be done on Thursday after just, you know, an hour, maybe two, but that was not the case. We ended on Sunday, and then I still had to buy the organizer for the shoes, so it was just definitely more than I expected. And this was the last area that I was tackling. It was just the TV stand. I wanted to make sure that I just clean it and organize their games a little bit. They already went through all that stuff and picked what needed to be donated. For the most part, I think we only got rid of like 2 games from that cabinet. So everything that you see here is already after the decluttering part. Again, I didn't film absolutely everything because this video would end up being probably an hour, and I did not think anybody would want to watch this for that long. But we wanted to just, again, keep the games that the kids are playing with. Overall, it really was a good timing for this declutter because we still have a couple of weeks before the school starts. I think for some of you guys, school has already started at the beginning of August, but for us, we still have a couple more weeks. So that way my kids can still enjoy the less clutter in the room, see how this actually functions in practice, how easy it is to put the toys away, and that way we are ready for the new school year when it starts. That's part of the reason why I like to do those things, those decluttering sessions in summertime and before Christmas. Before Christmas is because they usually get some new toys or want some new toys, so we want to make sure that they have room for that. And before school starts is because I feel when they go back to school, the schedule is just much more tighter and busy, and I want the room where usually my son does a lot of his homework in this room. It just needs to be as clutter-free as possible so they can actually concentrate on their schoolwork and just have this as their own, if you will, escape for after a long day of school. There's going to be a lot of activities starting over. So, I know for me, it kind of functions the same way. I am much more productive and creative at work, and I can concentrate better when my surroundings are organized. So one of the next videos, the next project is going to be specifically on that, on kind of organizing my office a little bit. I did organize my office, I want to say a year, maybe 2 ago. It all kind of is fuzzy at this point, where I made like a major declutter of it. But I noticed that there are some things that are just constantly cluttering my desk. And I know it is for 2 reasons. I have too many things around me that need to be decluttered, and I need a better organization system so at the end of the day I can put it away. But this is the end result of the playroom. As you can see, this is a giant pile of things we are either donating or throwing away. I did accomplish that more space in the middle of the room. Once we start using that tumbling mat, we can easier move things around if needed to, like the keyboard and the chair, to make more space. And everything is just nicely organized. I still have some empty space on that top right corner, which is great to see. And the table, I think, is gonna work this way now that I moved that cabinet. They have enough space to sit down. And I also put, you can see, like a little charger on that cabinet on the right. That is for all their headphones and tablets. I want to get rid of stuff from my office. That's another thing that's, starting to declutter my office from stuff that doesn't belong in my office, and having everything where, it's going to be more functional for our home. The Barbie house here, with all, big things in that bin, and then she has 2 drawers for them. The first one is actually for like crafts and arts supplies, and then the second one is for basically Barbies, and I think I put like her little makeup kit in there. And then the last one is really for all accessories. So as you can see, this drawer is not full by any means, like it's not filled to the brim, but all those things are nicely visible and she can take them out individually. And this side of cabinet is really for the games. It's still a lot of them. This is probably that, an area that could get more decluttered, but they were not willing to part ways with a lot of things, so it is what it is. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.
You know that I'ma keep it cool. With you I feel like breaking rules. On the edge, looking out with no parachute. You know I'm dreaming about